Hey, what's up? Welcome to this new video. This one is paper 2-1 of May-June 2021 for paper O-Level paper 2. Now, with that being said, let's move on to question number 1. So here we have in 2019, Nicole's annual income was 22,000. Okay, good enough. Part 1. She spent 7,200 on accommodation in 2019. So find the percentage of her income she spent on accommodation. Pretty easy. That will be the amount spent, which is this one, over the amount she earned, or income, times 100. That will be what? 7200 divided by 22, 123 times 100. That will be 32.7%. That is part 1 of your question. Now part B, her annual income of 22,000 increased by 4%. So what is 4%? 4% times 22,000. So 4 divided by 100 times 22, that will be 880. So it was increased by this much, so the new income will be what? Will be initial income, which was 22, plus answer, that should be 22,880. That is definitely one way of doing that. First, finding the increase and add the increase to the initial income, or you can just do this by taking 1.04 times 22,000. That will also give you the same value. Now for part C, Nicole invests 2,000 in an account. The account pays compound interest. So this is the type of interest we're dealing with. So we know the amount have to be P, that will have to be 1 plus the rate and power n. This is for compound interest. This is the formula we have to know. Now, invest this one. This is the principal. So P will be 2,000. Now the rate will be K percent. K percent is K over 100, right? And then here we have what? At the end of the first year, so time, year, and will be 1, first year. The money in the account will be A, is this much. So we have to find the value of K. Replace back in your equation, so A will be 2036 is equal to P is 2,000. 1 plus R, the rate is K over 100. And N is 1. So we have to find K, which means we have to make K become the subject of the formula. So first thing first, 1 plus K over 100 will be 2036 divided by 2000. That will be 1.018. So K over 100 will be 0.018. So finally, K will be times, so 0.018 times 100, that will be 1.8, and this is shown as required for part 1. Now for part 2, we have to find the number of complete years, so we have to find the value of n before Nicole has at least, so at least means more or equal to this amount in this account. So pretty easy. We know this is the amount desired, so we have to find amount had to be at least 2150. Now we know obviously P was 2,000. The rate, which was given to you by, we know it is K over this, which is what? K, it is 1.8 over 100 will be 0.018. That's the rate. Replace back in your main equation. Here we have to have this, which means P is 2,000. 1 plus rate, 0.018. Power n have to be at least more than this. Now, 1 by 1, that is 1.018 power n, at least more than 2550 divided by 2000, that will be 1.075. Now we know n is the number of years, so we can try it. Let's test. N can be obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. So we can see what is the number of years, complete years we need, such that it will be more than this. So 1 is obviously is not true. So about 2. When n is 2, the value will be what? So 1.018 power 2. That is still not enough, so not good. How about 3? 1.05, so not good. How about 4? 1.073, so 73, not good enough, so not good. How about 5? So 5 will be actually good, so we need at least 5 complete years for it to be more than this, at least. So n have to be at least 5. Again, it is done by trial, as you can see here. we try one by one and see which one works, and we have to show how we find that. That will be part C of the question. Question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. So a survey recorded the number of people living in each of 50 houses. So in total we have 50 houses. Okay. Now we have a bar chart showing the results. Great to know. We have the number of people and we have the frequency. Okay. Now part 1, find the mode. The mode has the highest frequency. As you can see, the mode here is this one, 4, right? That will be your mode. And what else? Now we have to find the median. The median will be the middle value. That will be half. 50 plus 1. Obviously, this is how you find the median. So you have to take the number of house, 50, add 1, and divide by 2. That will be the 25th element. Now we understand before that we have the 25th term, after we have the 26th term. So let's find out. This will be 7, so this is 7 house. That will be 11 house. That will be 10 house, right? That will be 12 house, and that will be 6 house, and that will be 4 house. This is the frequency for the number of house. Having 1 people is 7, 2 people is 11, and so on. So the idea is that we have to find the 25th element and the 26th element. So first we have 7 element plus 11. We will have to, from here, so 7 first, so from here till here we will have 18 element. Now we realize from here till here you will have 28 element, which means somewhere between here and here lies the value of the 25th and 26th element, which means the 25th and 26th house have 3 people each. So that will be 3 and 3. So to find the median, that will be 3 plus 3 divided by 2. Why? Because we want to find the average of those two. So 3 plus 3 divided by 2 will be 3. So 3 will be your median value. Again, to find the median, we first have to take 50 plus 1 divided by 2 to find the element. That will be the 25th.5 element. Obviously, we cannot find 0.5 element. Now we understand, before this we have 25, after this we have 26. So we can find the value for each of those elements and find the average to find the median. So that's how you find the median. Now for part C, we have to find the mean. Mean is pretty easy. That will be what? So we have to definitely just find the number of people first. So what is the total number of people? Total number of people divided by the number of house. People will be 1 times 7, 2 times 11, 3 times 10. So if you understand, it is, we have 7 house which has 1 people, 11 house which has 2 people. So we have to find the total number of people. So 1 by 1, that will be 1 times 7 plus 2 times 11, 3 times 10, 4 times 12, 5 times 6, and 6 times 4. So 7 plus 22 plus 30 plus 48 plus 30 plus 24. That will be 161. So we have 161 people in total, and we have 50 house. So we want to know on average how many people live in a house. That will be 3.22 as your answer. So 3.22 will be your answer for part C of your question. Now for part D, one of these houses is chosen at random. Okay, find the chance that exactly 3 people live in the house. Pretty easy. 3 people, you can see we have 10 house, so that will be 10 over 50 house in total. That will be 1 over 5. That is your answer for part 1. Now for part 2, we have 2 houses are chosen at random from this 50. Now we are choosing 2 house, obviously. Now find the chance that only one of these 2 house has exactly 5 people in that. That will be 5 people, we have 6 right here. So it could be 6 at first. If you choose that house, that will be 6 over 50. And then the other house will not be, that will be 44 over 49. But now, or it could be, we first could choose the other house, 50, and then choose the house that has the 5 people. So we will have this. So 6 over 50 times 44 over 49 plus 44 over 50 times 6 over 49. So that will be 264 over 1225. So whenever you see only one or the other, it means we have to always find one and multiply by 2, or we have to find each of the possibilities. So it could be this one first and then the other one, or the other one first, could be the other one. That will be part E, and that will be your question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. So here we have part A. So here we have to find the value of P when Q is this and R is this. So P will be 3 times Q, that will be 15, plus 5 over the value of R squared, that will be 16. That will be 3 times 15 plus 5 divided by 16. That will be 3.125. Now for part B, we have to expand this and simplify it pretty easy. That will be 6x plus 3 plus 4x minus 20. That will be 10x minus 17. Okay, that is part B. Now part C, we have to solve. Solve means we have to find the value of k. So first thing first, we can cross multiply. That will be 3 minus k. That will be 4. K will be the value of minus 1. Okay. Now with this one, we have to find the value of m. Pretty easy. By the laws of indices, we can bring this one up. That will become x 6 minus m. That will become x power minus 3. Now because the base are the same, we can cancel the base out. That will become 6 minus m. That will be minus 3. So m will be the value of 6 plus 3. That will be 9. And that will be question number 3, part D. Now let's move on to part E of your question. So here we have a rectangular piece of card measures 30 by 24 to 30 by 24. Okay. A net of an open box is made by removing a square of each corner. So it is x, right, for the square. Now we have to find the area. What is the area of the square? It is pretty easy. It is length times width. That will be x squared for the area of the square. Now we have 4 square. That will be times 4. So area removed will be 4x squared. Now let's move on. The area of the net is this one. So how do you find the area of the net? Pretty easy. We first find the whole area and minus the 4 square. So whole area will be 30 times 24 minus the 4 squares. You will have this one. 30 times 24, that will be 720 minus 4x squared, 576. So 4x squared will be what? 720 minus 576, that will be 144. X squared will be what? 36. And finally, x will have to be the value of 6. Obviously, because x cannot be negative 6, x is a side of a square, it cannot be negative. That will be part 1. Now for part 2, the net is made into an open box. Okay, fair enough, right? You kind of close this one up and up, it becomes an open box. Now, 1,000 centimeters cube of sand is placed in the box. Okay, find the fraction of the box that is filled. Pretty easy. What is the volume of the box then? It will be length times width times height. So what is the length of the box? So 30 minus x, so 30 minus 6, that will be 18. 24 minus 6, that will be 12. So the length is 18 times 12. Height is x, will be 6. That will be 18 times 12 times 6, that will be 1296. Now what is the fraction that is filled? Pretty easy. That will be the amount of sand, which is 1000, over 1296. Divided by answer, that should be 125 over 162 as the fraction in its simplest form. That will be part 3 of your question, question number 3. Now let's move on to question number 4. The diagram shows a sketch of the quad ABCD. Okay, good enough. Now we have to construct an accurate drawing of ABCD. AC has been drawn for you. So I'm not too sure if I want to do this question. It's kind of annoying to draw stuff. So this was drawn to be 9. I think it was supposed to be 10, as you can see here, 10 centimeters. My printing is not accurate. I'm sure you guys can do this, right? So we have to kind of draw this. We have to measure 8 and then use your compass, your protractor to make an arc here, join those two, and those two, and so on. So because my length is not accurate, I don't think it's a good idea to continue with this question. because my drawing here is messed up. For example, if I measure this, it shows to be 9, but it's supposed to be 10 according to the question. So my printing is not good. So I will not continue with this question. It's pretty easy as well. So how about this one? So measure the angle ADC, ADC, ADC. Let's measure this one for you just to show you guys how to do that. So here we have D. We can place this at this point, at the point D. And then we can kind of see where does this line go. That will be 0. That will be going all the point to here. That will be 105, 6, 7, 8. So 108, around 108 for the angle ADC. Obviously, there will be a margin of error. It could be 107, 106, 109, 110, depending on your measurements. Now, by taking a suitable measurement from your diagram, find the perimeter of ABCD. So, we have to find the perimeter of ABCD. So that will be this, 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 and this. So usually we found this. We have to find this length through measurement. So let's see if we can find this here. For example, I do realize that this is equal to 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 6, 7. So 3.7 is equal to 10 centimeters. So let's use ratio. I mean, obviously that's not the way you should do the question. I'm just trying to give you guys another option to see what's possible, right? How about this one? This will be 1, 2, 3. 3.1. So 3.1 will be what? Will be 10 divided by 3.7 times 3.1. So 10, that will be 8.37837. So that will be this length. So obviously your perimeter will be what? You have to add everything together. So that will become 4.5 plus 8 plus 6 plus 8.378. That will be 26.9, correct, to 3SF. That should be the approximate value if you were to draw this diagram over here. Okay, so now let's move on to question part B. So let's see, what do we have here? So the diagram shows a cuboid. TW is 15, so TW is 15 right here, and this is 10, this is 8. Okay. Now part 1, we have to show the length of TR. TR is this one, so pretty easy. Before we find TR, we can find what? We can find TV. What is the length of TV? So TV will be what? As you can see, this is 90 over here. So TV square will be 15 square plus 10 square. So TV will be root of what? That will be 325. That is 18.0. So whatever it is, that will be this one. That will be TV. Now, we understand this is obviously 90 as well because it is on the ground. This is vertical. Now we have a right angle triangle. We can use the Pythagoras theorem to find this length. That will be what? That will be TV square plus RV square. That will be equal to TR square. TV square will be 325. RV square will be 64. That will be TR square. That will be 389. So TR will be root of 389. That will be 19.7. So 19.7, correct, to 1 decimal place, shown as required. Now what else do we need to do now? So we have to look up this one. So X is the midpoint of PQ. This is the midpoint, which means this have to be, so this is the whole thing is 10. This have to be 5 and 5, right? Midpoint. Now what else? We know that, what? We have to find the angle TRX. TRX, we have to find this angle. Okay, so the idea here is we have to find this side and we have to find this side. So pretty easy. If you do realize that, for example, this triangle here, XQR, it is a right angle triangle. This is the value of 15. We can find this side pretty easily. That will be XR. That will be 5 square plus 15 square. So XR will be root of what? 25 plus 15 square, that will be 250. So this length right here, it is root of 250. How about this one? Pretty easy. The height here is 8. This is a right angle triangle, obviously. That will be also 8 square plus 5 square have to be the value of tx square. So tx square will be what? 8 square plus 5 square. That will be 89. So tx will be root of 89. So there you go. Now let me draw this triangle that we have right now. So we have this one, right? This is x, t, and r. This is the angle we're trying to find. We know this side is what? It is xr is actually root of 250, as we have seen. This is root of 89. And this was found to be root of 389. So to find this angle, obviously we can use the cosine rule, right? That will be cos of the angle r is equal to square sum of the square of both sides. That will be 250 plus 389 minus square of this one, that will be 89. Divide by 2 times root of 250 times root of 389. Let's see what do we get for this one. That will be 250 plus 389 minus 89. Divide by 2 times root of 250 times root of 389. That will be this. So cos inverse of that will give you what? Let's use degrees. That will be 28.1 degrees for the value of this angle. That will be correct to 1 decimal place for the angle part 2. And that is your question number 4. Now let's move on to question number 5. So here we have to shade the subset A prime intersecting B and C. So let's do this one first. What is B and C? B and C will be this one, right? A prime will be outside of A, so they will meet right here. This will be the set you have to shade. Now for part B, the universal set will be A, C, E, G, H, J, N, R, T, Z. That is the universal set. Now for W, we have X elements has rotational symmetry of order 2. So let's see which one has that. A, no. C, no. E, rotate by 180. Let's see what happens. Does it work? No. Nope. This is good. H is good. J is not good. N is good. And then what else? And then Z is good. Well, if you rotate by, so order 2 means if you rotate by 180, it should look the same. That's the main idea behind this question. So we have H, N, Z. And do we have something else? No, I don't think so. That will be the only 3 elements for W. How about this one? Has a line of symmetry, so it will be A, yes, right here. C, I guess this way. E, this way. G, no. H, yes. J, no. N, no. R, no. T, yes. And that should be about it. This is this. Now complete the Venn diagram. Let's see what do we have here. So do we have this one? Everyone intersecting in so with element we have in everyone. So R is here. It is not here. Okay. A is here. Here but not here. N is here. Not here but here. G is here. No G. E is here. E but not here. So here will be empty because we don't have an element which is present in all the 3 sets. So here we don't need to put anything. How about these two? W and X. WX. We have A here. We have H here, C, E, this, and this. So they are not matching really, as you can see here. What do we have in common? So let's check this out. I think we have H. So I don't know why I missed this one. H is in common. So this one by H. Right. So H is good. How about this one? W and Y. W, Y, R, no R, A, no A, N, N. So N is here. G, no G, E, no E. So that is the only thing in common. So here we have remaining W will be and z, so z will be right here. Now what else? X and y, so x, y, a, so that'll be good. C, no C. E, we have E as well. It's good. H, no H. Okay, that will be everything. So only in X will be A, C, C will be here, E is here, H is here, and T. And then only in Y we have R, of course, A is here, N is here, and G. Okay, so what is outside then? What is outside remaining? Let's check. We have A, C, E, G, H, J. So J is outside, N is right here, R is right here, T is right here, Z is right. So only one outside, which is J. That is part 1, complete the Venn diagram. Again, it is not tough, it is kind of annoying. We just have to be careful into choosing which one will be in which set. Now part 2, list the elements of this one, so one by one. W union Y will be what? W union Y will be these two sets. Now its outside will be this one. Now intersecting with X will be these two, so you have only two elements, X and T. That makes sense, because if you think there will be this, this, and this. This is W, X, and Y. Now, W union Y, so that will be these two together, but prime means outside. Outside means outside of these two. Intersecting X will be intersecting the outside, will only have this one. So this is the only place we need to list the elements. So here we only have these two, so that's what will be your answer. Now for part 3, we have to find the elements, which is this one. So X union this, outside we have only J, number it is only 1. So only one element will be outside of the 3 sets. Now for part 4, use set notation to complete this statement, which is the empty set. Pretty easy. As you can see, this is empty here, so that is W intersecting X intersecting Y will be the empty set. As you can see here, we have nothing here, right? That's why we have to write this down. That is your question number 6. Now let's move on to question number, sorry, that was 5. Let's move on to 6 now. So we have f of x. Let's find, we have g of x. Find this one, pretty easy. Replace this by minus 1. 12 minus 3 times minus 1 over 5. That will be 15 over 5, and that should be the value of 3. Now this one, let's solve for the value of x. So we have 2x plus 3, that will be 2. 2x will be minus 1, x will be minus half. Now for part this one, find the inverse, pretty easy. Let y is equal to g inverse, which is 12 minus 3x over 5. Now we have to make x become subject, so first thing first, cross multiply, that will be 5y will be 12 minus 3x. So 3x will be 12 minus 5y. X will be 12 minus 5y over 3. So finally, g inverse, it is in terms of x. So we have to change the y to x. That will be x here, and then it will be 3. That is part C. Now for this one, find the value of x for which f of x, so when f of x is 4 more than this. So f of x minus g of x have to be 4, because it is 4 more than this. To replace, you will have 2x plus 3 minus 12. This over 5 is equal to value of 4. Now I want to eliminate this value. I can multiply everywhere by 5 to cancel out this value. So you will have 10x plus 15 minus 12. Of course, here I have to be careful by adding a bracket, right? Because here we have minus. I have to be careful. That will be minus 12 plus 3x equal to 20. That makes sense. Now what else? Let's see. That will be, that should be 3. And this will be 13. So 13x, that will be 17. So x will be 17 over 13. That will be your value of x for which that is possible. And that is your question number 6. Now let's move on to question number 7. So here we have a few equations of straight lines. We have to find the correct one. So pretty easy. So first one, as you can see, the line is going up. which means the gradient have to be positive. As you can see here we have negative, negative. It is not those two. Now we have to choose between those two. Now we can see the y-intercept, it is below, it is on the negative side, so we have to choose -1. That will be y equal to 2x minus 1. Now for this one, the line is going down, the gradient have to be negative. So it can be this one, can be this one, have to be this one or this one. Now you can see the y-intercept, it is positive here, have to be this one. So y will be minus 2x plus 1. Okay. Now for part B, the diagram shows a sketch of y equal to x squared plus ax plus b. That's the equation that we have for this curve. It will be a minimum curve, right? Find the value of a and b. So there's two ways of doing this. One, we can solve a simultaneous equation, or one we can just think. For example, usually, when you have these values here, these are factors when y equal to 0. For example, x equal to, so here we have x equal to minus 3. That is x plus 3 will be a factor. X equal to 2, x minus 2 will be a factor. If you multiply the factors to each other, it will give you back the equation of the curve. That will be x squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 6. That will be x squared plus x minus 6. Now by comparing, here we have 1, here we have minus 6. So A will be 1 and B will be minus 6. That is your question for part A and B. Let's move on to part C of your question. Let's see what do we have here. So here we have a curve. So the grid shows a graph of y equal to this. That's the equation, that's the shape of the curve. Right. Now part 1, we have to find, so we say this is the curve, right? This is y equal to k, has exactly two solutions. So use the graph to find the possible values of k. So pretty easy. So it means that if you were to draw a line, y equal to k, what kind of line is that? It is a horizontal line. That's the idea. Now if you were to draw a horizontal line, where would you have only 2 points of intersection? So by observation, you will see that it is only possible at this point. If you were to draw a line here, or a line over here, that's the only two places where that is possible. Oh, sorry about that. So that is the only place we can have that. Now you can see the value here could be what? So that will be 6, 7, 8, so 8 approximately, that is minus 4. So you can see the value of k could be the value of minus 4, or it could be the value of 8. Now what does that mean? For example, you can see when we draw this line, we only have 2 points of intersection here and here, here and here. So but the 2 points of intersection means we have only exactly two solutions. For example, what if we draw the line here? You will have 1, 2, 3 points of intersection, which will not satisfy this condition. Now what if you draw the line here? It is only 1 point of intersection, so it is not good enough. So by observation, you see we can only have a line here and a line here for those two values of k. That is part 1 of this one. Now for part 2, by drawing a suitable line, we have to find the solution of this one. So pretty easy. Let's observe. So where have we seen something like this? So here, what do we have? So we know the equation of a curve is y equal to x power 3 minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6. Now here we have x cubed minus 2x squared. Here we have x cubed minus 2x squared. Let's make this become subject. That will be, send everything to this side, that will be y plus 5x minus 6. So we can replace this one by this in this equation. You will have y plus 5x minus 6 minus 7x plus 5 have to be 0. That will be y minus 2x minus 1 have to be 0. So y will be 2x plus 1. So let's see what else. So this is the line I have to draw. So this is the idea. We have to draw this line. So let's find 2 points on the graph so we can join the 2 points and draw the line. So when x is equal to 0, y will be the value of 1. When x is equal to the value of 2, y will be the value of 5. And when x is equal to the value of minus 2, y will be the value of minus 3. So we have 3 points. Let's see what can we do. So 0, 1 will be somewhere over here. 2, 5. 2, 5 will be over here. So I guess we just need 2. We don't need all these values. So let me draw this line. So join these 2 points to form the line. And then we just have to find the points of intersection. There you go. So here we have one point of intersection here, here, and here. So the value here will be what? Minus 2.2, 0.6, and 3.6. So let's write this down. According to my graph, it shows to be minus 2.2, and then I have 0.6, and then I have 3.6, right? Let's check. Correct, 3.6. Again, this is my graph and my points showing on my graph. Again, your graph may be not different, but the value may vary just a little bit. It will be around those values. That will be question number 7. Now let's move on to question number 8. So here we have part A. The points P and Q and R are points on the circumference of the circle center O. Angle POQ is 8x. This is 8x, okay? And the angle RPO is x, and this is 24. Good to know. Now we can see that this is the center O, and this is the points on circumference. So we understand these two have to be the same because they are the radius of the circle, which means these two angles have to be the same. So what are the values of these two angles? That will have to be, for example, so we know the triangle POQ has 180 in total degrees. That will have to be 180 minus 8x divided by 2 for this one. So it will be the same as well. Okay, so that's something good to know. Now what else do we have to know? So here we also have to know that the angle at the center will always be twice the angle at the circumference. So this will have to be half of this one. That will be this one. This is a theory we have to know, which is the angle at the center will be twice, hence the angle at the circumference will be half of the angle right here. So how can we use that to find the angle PQO? PQO will be this one. So we have to find this angle. This angle is PQO will be 180 minus 8x over 2. So we first have to find the value of x. So how can you find the value of x? Sorry. So let's see how can we do that. So x. So we do understand that the triangle, sum of all the angles in the triangle will be 180. So let's do that. So that will be 4x plus this will be 24 plus this one will be 180 minus 8x over 2 plus this one 180 minus 8x over 2 plus this one supposed to give you 180 because we know that the triangle PRQ, the sum of all the angles will be 180. So that's the main idea behind this question. We have to find the value of x first. So what can we do here is we can simplify. So that will become 5x plus 180 minus 8x, because this plus this will become, because half plus half will become 1, and we can send this one over here. That will become what? 180 minus 24, that will be 156. So this minus this will be minus 3x, that will be 156 minus 180, that will be minus 24. So it means x will have to be the value of 8. Hence finally replace back here, that will be 180 minus 8 times 8, that will be 180 divided by 64 divided by 2, that will be 58 degrees. So here we have the value of the angle, that will be 58 degrees. Part A. Now let's move on to part B of the question. So here we have triangle KLM is similar to triangle KNG. So we know these two are similar. Now we can use obviously the properties of similar triangle to find these values. Now one thing we have to know is that since these two angles are vertically opposite, they have to be the same. This is also y. Now by observation you can see the corresponding sides. So this angle have to be this one same, and this angle is the same as this one. Right. Now we know the sides must be proportional. The corresponding sides have to be proportional to each other. This is the properties of similar triangles, so we can use that. So what is the main idea here? The main idea is we have to find the angle y. We know the area of the triangle is 75, so the area of triangle JKN, this one is 75 for the area. So how do you find area of a triangle? So pretty easy. That will be half times sine of the angle y, and times the two sides around the angle, which is the sides 10 and kj, and that has to be 75. So we have to find the value of kj by using similarity, obviously. So you can see kj will be the this side opposite this angle. The side opposite this one will be this one. So we can write 10.5 divided by kj is equal to, now here we have 6, that will be opposite this one, and that will be opposite the green one as well. So we can write, obviously we can write, because here we write the smaller side, because we write for the smaller triangle first, we have to keep it consistent. We write 6 here over the value of this one, 10, the bigger one afterwards, because kj is part of the big triangle. We also have to keep the big triangle consistent in the equation. So find the value of kj. So kj will be 10 times 10.5 divided by 6. So 10 times 10.5 divided by 6, that will be 17.5. So finally replace back in your main equation to solve this. That will be half times 10 times 17.5 sine of y, that will be 75. Sine of y will be what? 10 times 17.5 divided by 2 will be this. 75 divided by answer, that should be 0.857. So finally, you have sine inverse of this answer, that should be 58.997, or you can just write the angle will be 59.0 degrees. That will be your value of y, and that is your question number 8. Let's move on to question number 9. So here we have a cumulative frequency graph obtained by 80 students. So in total we have 80 people in the math test. Now part 1, we have to find the median. So pretty easy, that is half of the 80, that will be the 40th element. So whenever we have to use a cumulative frequency graph, we don't add 1 to this one, it will be just the number of students. So let's use the graph a 40th students, that will be 40 right here. The value will be right here. We have to, of course, we have to show how we get the value for your full marks. That will be 48 for the median marks according to my graph. Now for part 2, 60% of the students pass the test. So how many is 60%? 60% times 80. Because we have 80 in total, that will be what? That will be 48 people. So 48 people pass the test. Now we have to use the diagram to find the number of marks needed to pass the test. Now we do understand that to pass the test, obviously we have to get, so for example, so 48 people pass the test. It means that obviously the bottom people will fail the test and the top people will pass the test. That makes sense. So we have to look from top bottom. So 80 minus 48, that will be 30. So 80 minus 48, that will be 32. So 32 will be somewhere over here. So we have to look for this. 32 right here. That will be this one. The mark here will be 42. So the mark needed will be 42. So if you observe, it means that, so here we have 32 people failed the test and 48 people passed it. And the minimum mark required was 42, because the rest obviously will be, as the mark goes up, you will obviously pass your test, but the minimum mark will be at this line, it will be at 42 marks, if that makes sense, right? So that will be your answer according to the graph. Now, using this information on the diagram, we have to complete the frequency table. So here we have to find between 20 and 40. So let's first find a 40. 40 will be what? You can see 40 will be on this line, and that should be the value over here, that is 26. That will be less than 40 will be 26. 26 minus 8 That will be 18. Right? Now what else? Let's see. So here we have less than 60. 60 will be here. This value over here. That will be this one. That will be 58. So that will be 58 minus 18 minus 8. That will be 32. And then we have 80. 80 will be right here. That will be the value over here. So that will be 72. 72 minus 32 minus 18 minus 8. That will be 14. And finally, 100 will be right here. That should be 80. So 80 minus 8 minus 18 minus 32 minus 14. That should be 8. So this will be your cumulative frequency graph. Okay, so that will be part 3 of your question. Now for part B, the times taken by 80 students to complete a sign test. So now it is a sign test, different thing. Shown is in the frequency table below. Okay, fair enough. Now we know that everyone together will be 80. So frequency, if you add everything together, that should give you 80. Okay. An estimate for the mean time taken to complete the test for this one. So mean, how do you find mean? So pretty easy. This is calculated using the mid-interval value of an estimate of the time in each interval. So what is the mid-interval value of each interval? So that will be 45, that will be 55, that will be 65, that will be 75, and that will be 85 obviously. So how do you find mean? We will take 45 times 8 plus 55 times 13 plus 65 p plus 75 times 20 plus 85 times q. Then everything divided by the number of students that is supposed to give you the value for the mean. Okay, that's what we have, at least an equation for in terms of p and q. So let's find out. 45 times 8 plus 55 times 13 plus 75 times 20. That will be 2575 plus 65p plus 85q is equal to, so here 67.625 times 80, that will be 5410. So 65p plus 85q, that will be 2835. That is my equation number 1. So now let's find the equation number 2. Pretty easy. We know everything together will be 80, so we have 8 plus 13 plus p plus 20 plus q have to be 80. So p plus q have to be 80 minus 20 minus 13 minus 8. That will be 39. So we can make p become subject, so p will be 39 minus q. Replace back in here, you will have 65 times 39 minus q plus 85q, that will be 2835. So 65 times 39, that will be 2535 minus 65q plus 85q, that will be 2835. Simplify. So minus 65 plus 85, that will be 20. 2835 minus 2535, that will be 300. So q will be divided by 20, that will be 15. And p, 39 minus 15, that will be what? That will be 24. Okay, that is our value of 15 and 24. Let's check. If you add everything here, 8 plus 13 plus 24 plus 20 plus 15. That is 80. So good to go. That is part B of your question, question number 9. Okay, so let's move on to question number 10. So here we have AB given to you by this. Find the magnitude, pretty easy. That will be square root of 3 square. That will be 9 plus 25. That will be root of 34. That will be 5.83, correct to 3SF. Now for part 2, we have AC is this and C is the point this. So let's find the point A. So pretty easy. AC is given to you by OC minus OA. Right? So obviously we have to find the point of OA. So OA will be OC minus AC. So that will become OC is 10 minus 1 minus AC will be 6, 2. That will be 4 minus 3. So the point OA will be 4 minus 3. Now for part B, B is the midpoint of AD. For example, you have ABD right here. So we know B is the midpoint. So we know AB is given to you by 3. So AB is minus 3, 5, as you can see here, which means AD will be what? 2 times. That will be minus 6, 10. Because AB is minus 3, 5, obviously 2 times, because B is the midpoint, AD will be this. So which means OD minus OA have to be this. So OD have to be this plus OA. OA was found to be 4 minus 3. Have to be the value of minus 2, 7. And that is your value of the point OD. Minus 2, 7. That is your question, part A, 10. Let's move on to part B of your question. So the diagram shows the triangle OPQ. So OPQ, okay, fair enough. OP is P, and OQ is Q. Now R is a point on OQ such that OR is 2 times OQ. So OR is 2 times RQ, sorry. OR is 2 times RQ. So basically, if you think about this, or if you want to break this down right now, it's okay, but we don't need to. Let's see what we can find or how we can use this in the question. S is the midpoint of PQ, fair enough, midpoint right here. Now part 1, we have to find in terms of P and Q, PQ. So how do you find PQ? It's pretty easy. So P going to Q, that will be P going to O going to Q. PO will be minus P, and Q, that will be this. So that will be minus P plus Q. Now OS, O going to S, pretty easy. We can O going to P, and then P going to S, right? O going to P, and P going to S. OP will be P, and P going to S will be half of PQ, because S is the midpoint. That will be half of minus P plus Q. That will be half of P plus half of Q. That will be part 2. Now for part 3, SR. SR will be this one. How can you move from S to R? So let's think. We can move from S to Q and Q to R. So we can find this one. S to Q will be pretty easy, as we know this is half and half. So this is half of this will be half of PQ will be minus P plus Q, as we have seen before. How do you find QR? So let's see. We have this ratio here. OR is equal to, so wait, we have OR. So OR is 2 times RQ. Now we can form a ratio here. If you think about this, for example, so if the ratio of OR is 2 times RQ, so if you think about this here, for example, it has to be 2 here, has to be 1, so it can be 2 times this one. So together it will be 3, right? Hope that makes sense. If RQ was 1, it means OR have to be 2. That's the ratio. OR is 2 times 1. Hope that makes sense. Now from here we can derive something which is RQ have to be 1 over 3 OQ. If that makes sense. So RQ have to be 1 over 3. Together will be 3, right? So 2 plus 1 is 3. So 1/3 of OQ. That will be 1/3 of Q. This is RQ. Now simply QR will be in the opposite direction. That will be minus 1 over 3Q. So replace back in your main equation. That will be minus 1 over 3Q. So finally you will have minus half P plus half Q minus 1 over 3Q. That will be minus half P, and then half minus 1 over 3, that will be plus 1 over 6Q. That is your value for SR. And that will be your question, part B, and that is your last question of this paper, question number 10. So I hope that was somewhat helpful. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you soon.